I mean, our lives, I mean, are taken up very much, obviously, with the creation topic. But there's more to our lives than that. So, what other kind of interests and hobbies, or how else do you spend your time when you're not thinking about
When I'm not doing
creation?
this, yeah.
Yeah.
I love to travel,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously we're not doing any. Um, so that's sort of been a disappointment. But yeah, I
Yeah.
really love to travel. I love to hike. I love to get out in the woods. I love to get out in nature. I even tried to hike into the Grand Canyon 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
as a middle-aged man, probably desk jockey too much. we got we got 3 hours into it and realized that it was going to be way too late. We were trying to get to a certain point, and
Yeah.
we just had to turn around. So we were 6 hours, 6 hours, yeah, about 6 hours hiking in the canyon, and we barely got a mile and a half. Maybe it was just bad. Um, but that's
Do you,
that's something I like to do.
do you know which
And
rock unit you got down to in the canyon?
Coconino,
Coconino. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, there you go. We're going to have to get John Whitmore on our podcast to talk
uh,
about the Coconino with us.
yeah, that would be great.
And he and I could sort of reminisce about some of the times we spent in the field together.
Yeah,
But yeah, that would be fun. In fact, we do hope that we might be able to twist a few arms and get some guests on our podcast at
yeah,
some point, don't we?
absolutely.
So yeah, so you enjoy being out in nature
Yeah,
and
and
out in
I
God's
live in the
creation.
country. We have 5 acres out in the middle of nowhere here in
Lovely.
outside of Dayton, and I'm currently we're working on an office in the woods. That's kind of a little hike from our house, and it will be sort of a quiet little retreat. One of my problems here, our listeners won't know this, but we know this because my actual office here in town is basically right on the railroad tracks, and the trains go by very regularly. It's extremely loud, and so recording here is kind of a distraction and difficulty sometimes. So I'm really looking forward to having an office where that is not going to be happening every 20 minutes. So yeah, so that would be some of my interests. I love old movies, classic films. I love silent films. I had no idea that I loved silent
Mm,
films until I really started getting into them.
mm.
And when I'm not doing any of those things, I also enjoy baking pie. That is my
Ah,
thing.
yes, yes. I've seen photos of some of your concoctions
Yeah, one
on
of these days we're gonna
Facebook.
have to get you some of my pie when that miracle time that's coming when I have free time, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
I imagine that sometime will happen again. But yeah,
yeah.
I got into pie baking 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
yeah, I've got some really killer recipes now that I really quite enjoy making. So,
Mm-hmm.
so how about
Mm.
you?
Well,
You have a cat.
what do I? What I we have two cats.
Oh,
One cat we kind of acquired. It was really our daughter's cat, but it kind of stayed here when she moved out. So
uh-huh.
the other cat is very much my cat. She kind of tags around with me. She's probably wondering even now why the door is
Why the door?
closed and why she
I know
why
what's
she
wrong.
can't come in. What else? An enormous fan of Doctor Who, more the classic kind of Doctor Who. Yeah, I sort of grew up with Tom Baker,
Hmm?
who was the fourth Doctor, the one in the scarf, and yeah, so I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, and dotted around the house in various places, including on the shelves behind me, are various police boxes and
Okay.
things of that kind.
All right.
Um, so that's one thing. I love reading. I read a huge amount, and not just on creation or science. I like reading general theology and so on as well. Um, what else? Oh, a couple of years ago, I decided to take up Morris dancing. Now, this
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 is
is
totally
probably
unfamiliar to
this
Americans.
is
We will
probably
not
very
know what this is.
unfamiliar. Now, there are Morris sides out in America, and in fact, I've met Morris dancers from the States who visited the UK, but it's generally unfamiliar. So Morris dancing is a kind of traditional English folk dance, and it's danced to traditional English folk tunes. You usually are in sets of 6 or 8 dancers, and you wear bells on your legs, on your lower legs, and you dance with hankies or sticks. And Todd is laughing because he's seen video of me doing this. And,
I don't mean to be
it's
disrespectful, but yeah, it can be pretty funny.
it's a really traditional kind of English sort of pastime. It's often associated with the spring and the summer, and yeah, I did it partly because I love the music, and I've always wanted to give it a go, and I didn't know whether I'd be any good at it, and I kind of turned up at a taster session and discovered that actually, I could do it. And so I've stuck at it, and my dance repertoire is growing even during the lockdown. We've found sort of innovative ways to practice using Zoom.
Wow.
So I've taken up. I'm a member of a Morris dance side, so that takes up quite a bit of my spare time too.
Wow.
So that's me. So
Yeah,
there
I
we
couldn't dance to save my life. In fact, I have the opposite of hand-eye coordination. I'm
are.
just really clumsy and dangerous, and it's kind of frustrating at times.
Right.
But yeah, I could not dance, so
Yeah.
kudos to
I'm
you.
not, I'm not at all musical. I don't play any musical instruments. I don't sing. I can't read music. I think it would help as a Morris dancer if you were able to do that, but it's not essential. And I've found that I can learn the dances, and I'm able to stay in time and that kind of thing.
Well, all
So I'm
right
enjoying it. It's good exercise too. It's great exercise.
Good.
Yeah. So that's a bit about us.